If you ever played a gacha game, you've probably had a Limbus company, the third installment within the Project Moon franchise. If you don't know about it, I strongly encourage you to play it. I already have 650 hours in Limbus company and counting, and frankly, my friends are quite tired of hearing me talk about it so much. But you know, there's one simple fix to that, you know. Playing the damn game. What you need to know about Limbus before we start is that it's made by Project Moon, an indie game studio based in Korea. This studio began in 2016 as a university club led by a glorious director Kim Ji-hoon. Oh my god, Kim, is that you? No, Kim! Project Moon kicked things off with Lobotomy Corporation and then moved on to Library Arena and finally released their latest game, Limbus Company. Each of the 3 games have their each and own respective genre, but today we only care about Limbus Company. In a turn-based RPG, Limbus Company, the story is divided into chapters called Cantos, each packed with lore and centered around one specific character. In this video, I'll focus on Greor's story, Canto 1, The Outcast.
가까이 오지 마. 가까이 오면 안 돼. 달라고.
Next, sinner number 13.
Yeah, that's me.
Name,
Greor, at your service.
age,
35, 29th February, on a leap year.
sin affinity,
I guess I'll say sloth.
book,
I don't know what you're talking about, but I guess I'll have to say metamorphosis. Franz Kafka.
height,
6'3".
crush.
Not telling you.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
Now, before we dive into the Rainbows and Magic as Canto 1 story, we must first understand the character of Greor, as I believe the individuality of this cast is what makes the game stand out and enriches the story even further. Even the small characteristics of the characters that go generally unnoticed all add up to Greor playing the role of an outsider, such as Greor is the 13th member of the cast, plays the last among the 13 sinners in the game. This also ties with the fact there are 12 playable sinners in the game, and he is placed outside of that dozen, further emphasizing his exclusion from the group. On top of this, Greor's birthday is positioned on the 29th of February, the only day exclusive to a leap year, causing him to be exempt even from the conventional birthday standards, further placing him out of reach of the social norms. Yep. There we go, that's our residential, literally me character. Go play Ryan Gosling, whatever, man. Manager bud, hey, wake up. Bug guy, where are we? Once again, my name's Greor. Same way you're named Dante, not Clockface. That's cool and all, but I don't think that's legal. That is a literal child driving our bus. Can we get HR on this? I don't like this. And who the fuck are you two?
Salutations, it is me, the great and illustrious Don Quixote. Verily I grace your presence, and of course I'm a fan favorite.
Oi, quit your bloody yammering. You're not even 2 stellars deep and you're howling as much as your Marge's hounds. What's like you piss me off?
SYBAU.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Oi, bloody hell.
To write against noisy crowd.
Senseless violence shan't be forgiven. I will bring justice.
This is absurd. We haven't even made it to our destination and we already lost 3 of our own. To our own. Suddenly, our guide's voice called out to me.
Dante, rewind the clock.
Faust let out a slight sigh. A sigh of commanding presence. As if it was her obligation to relay this information. She told me to close my eyes. Or would it be optics? I'm not too sure anymore. The door is everywhere. However, only I can see it. As the stars never set on my skies, a light seethed into my sight, as if my eyes were to be pried open. I felt solitary. I was alone in there. Or maybe I wasn't. Who can tell? An unsightly door towered before me in this otherwise vast landscape. Heat roared through a small partition with cries leeching off its escape. Wails lamented as they gnawed so passionately at the gilded slabs. I grasped its handles. Art thou prepared to share the pain? Their once cold blood ran warm. Their tenderized muscles reweaved into its wicker matrix. Snapped joints popped into place. Their stained clothes wrung and squeezed as hemoglobin returned to their birthrights. Due to Canto 1 being the introductory chapter of the game, it is only natural that the characters are introduced alongside their base dynamics, allowing new players to get a feel for the cast. And due to a few missing sinners in there, I will have a quick fire round of all the sinners with a brief description of them in 3 words or less. Yisang, the lost idealist. Faust, insufferable, intelligent narcissist. Don Quixote, overpassionate Shakespearean dreamer. Ryoshu, scenic, sadistic smoker. Marisol, unopinionated, efficient bystander. Honglu, sheltered jade masquerade. Heathcliff, wild lover boy. Ishmael, revenge-driven sailor. Rodion, materialistic, gambling foodie. Sinclair, insecure, overdependent naivety. Otis, bootlicking, commanding general. And Greor, the traumatized metamorphic smoker. And before I forget, we were also introduced to our guide, Vigilius. There are a total of 9 fixed grades that have been established by the Hanna Association, ranging 9 to 1, but there's one rank that Vigilius has been given, which is above all established 9. It goes past that limitation and is given his own unique color, that being red. Vigilius is known as the Red Gaze and takes over the Red Mist position after a sudden disappearance due to Lobotomy Corporation. Aside from being introduced to the characters and their base dynamics, we get to see that the crew is on their way to the 4th district in D Corp. To get there, we're in a special bus train thing called Mephistopheles. This bus is engineered by Faust and is ran off a substance called enkephalin, which is produced from the brain and spinal nerves inside the human body, thus leading to the bus having to use a shredder for human bodies to extract that enkephalin to be used as fuel for the bus. Aside from this, Mephi also has the abilities to extract random IDs and egos from mirror worlds, allowing the sinners to take forms of other characters or concepts from the expanded universe. You would know this in-game as a summoning feature. We also learn that the rear door in the bus is connected to a pocket dimension known as the corridor. In the corridor, we learn that there is a network of doors that connect to different rooms, 13 of which are allocated to the sinners. These rooms are all stated to be a reflection of the sinners and their personalities. Aside from that, within Dante's room, there's an additional corridor that leads to refraction railways, mirror dungeons, and excavation dungeons. In addition to this, we learn more about Dante's contract and the revitalizing powers that it carries with it. We get to see the scene of Dante rewinding the clock after sinners begin to slaughter each other, in which we see Dante's consciousness being summoned to, seemingly, the gates of hell. This landscape he's in is a sort of brutalist, vast, cement and concrete-filled wasteland with nothing but the doors to hell inside. His architecture around the door brings authority towards it, as nothing exists in here except the door and Dante. The use of mise en scène in this scene takes away the power from Dante, as he's become yet another splotch of red within the background of this dimension. And once the brass slabs split open, a numerous amount of these red splotched hands reach from within the crevice and snatch Dante away, forcing him to feel the pain of the sinners, but in the process, healing them. How to get this power? I don't know. Probably something to do with a big glowing stick. You know, these golden sticks are usually found within L Corp remnants, so... who the hell are you? Get in, let's go. Hi, I'm Yuri. Haha, girls kissing. This is Yuri, a key character within this Canto, joins us as a sort of guide around the L Corp facility I will be exploring, due to her being a former employee. We also run into her 2 friends, the Grade 8 fixers, Hopkins and Aya, who join us in our journey. As we explore the freshly ransacked Lob Corp, we see corpses with bug wings and antennae sticking out of their bodies, with blood running through the cracks yet to dry. Further ahead, we meet the culprits. 3 veterans plagued with roach-like mandibles, placidly eating upon an amalgamation of their own spit and foreign flesh. One of them locks eyes with Greor. Traitorous peasant, a crooked veteran exclaims. I look better in those flyers, right? Cuts a cheeky crap. I'm disgusted I ever saluted your face. A vulgar voice chimed in.
When you was posed as a normal member of society, due to being freed from this side effect, we never got that privilege. You were thrown out as soon as the war was lost.
I was tossed out too, but I'm not rifling through trash like an actual roach.
Why don't they just get jobs, lol?
You don't know the stigma that follows a person after their ring falls. Even if they take you in, booty licking is the only option. Why the f didn't you warn us? Incompetent slab of tainted meat.
Calm down, Hobbs. You angry again?
Didn't know. How could I have known? They just escaped. All the while, the next round of abnormalities started rushing down the corridors. Now, what are abnormalities, you may be asking? Well, abnormalities are the SCP-like monsters in Lobotomy Corporation, coming with their own SCP-like ratings, ranging from Zion to Aleph. These abnormalities are made up of a manifested mind of humans that reflect the fears and desires of the people they're extracted from. They are usually extracted through Corp singularity, that being cogito, but they can also be found randomly in outskirts of a city. Abnormalities are also able to have portions of themselves molded into ego weapons, armor, and gifts. These creatures are found in Lob Corp in high quantities as they're extracted for enkephalin and used to power the seed of light within these corporations, meaning they're in this facility as well. Now, let me explain a little bit of the scene that just played out. Specifically, bug-like veterans that sound like Vega from League. Now, I want to specifically draw attention to their disdain for Gregor and how a mise en scene of this shot presents Gregor as the foe. In this shot, they are seen eating another human's flesh under red light, providing an initial build-up of the themes of hatred and violence, paired alongside the vibrant green of enkephalin, which adds undertones of rot and infection to the scene, managing to craft a foreboding atmosphere before any interactions even start. Following this, the posture of the three veterans is presented as hunched and animalistic, showing that they've given into their primal urges and sets up the atavistic vision for the rest of the Canto. Finally, we see the area around them is broken and in tatters with leaking pipes and broken boxes, providing insight to the veterans' shattered minds and their lack of composure. And all of these themes tie back to parenting novel Metamorphosis, as these atavistic mannerisms display alienation and regression, which is all shifted onto Gregor. They seemingly ignore all the other sinners and condemn purely Gregor for their faults in an attempt to relegate accountability. And yet, we see Gregor take the blame, as he retorts saying that he looks better in the flies, knowing that it's his fault. Hey, Red Gaze's minions are more than capable.
SDIYBT.
He can't. He has hemorrhoids.
What? No, I don't know what you mean. As Hopkins gets up, his pockets seem to sag as he holds tight onto his belt, securing his trousers in place. Faust took me aside, once again asking me to close my eyes. Although annoyed and agitated, I followed through with the commands. There's something about her. She has no authority over me yet. Her intelligence acts as a patron that needs to be pleased. I close my eyes and a new light is born into my vision. A swirling matrix of neurons and brainwaves painted in splotches, and a yellow dot is punctured right through the middle. I feel a connection to the golden bowels. This is shared with the sinners as if they all close their eyes with me. It seems we're more connected than I first thought. Hey manager bud, rewind the clock. Show Yuri your cool tricks. Will they ever understand this pain? That's the power of a singularity, Hopkins exclaims with green-filled eyes fixated upon my prosthetic, fumbling around with his pockets.
Well, I'm glad I'm not connected to that clock. Imagine becoming a donut and... Wow, isn't that a treat?
I is stabbed by the ebony stem. Aya! Come on now, you gotta keep it together, especially in times like these, yeah? But... Hopkins' gaze clung onto me. You can make sense of the ticking? Gregor addresses Yuri. Get into formation. It's time. Yuri, with cold devotion, affirmatively replied. Vines drifted through the floor like cold wind does air. Footsteps that smelt of rotting fruit and the wet grass grew ever closer in tandem with the vines. After a seemingly short and fortuitous battle, we came out alive. We all wondered how and why it was without difficulty, when Faust reminded us that the defense systems of the facility remained active. In this scene, we see the death of Aya and the group's overarching reaction to this loss, while some being more connected to her, such as Hopkins and Yuri, in opposition to the Sinners and Dante, who have just met her. Obviously, they would care more about Aya's death than us, right? Yet something's off about Hopkins. Aya died, yet his pockets seem to be filled. His eyes, instead of being shaken with fear, are steady on Dante, more concerned about Dante's valuable head than his dying friend. This entails questions and suspicions about Hopkins and his envious nature being more materialistic than emotional. Furthermore, it introduces new players who hasn't played the previous two games to a city and its mannerisms. This represents a city as cold, selfish, and most of all dangerous. You can't trust anyone in the city, and you must move on, as this is this and that is that. Hello everyone, this is where I will end part 1 for the story of Canto 1. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and the next part of this will be out sometime in the next 2 weeks. The videos have slowed down a little bit because I've just gotten to uni, so it's a bit, I'm a bit jumbled everywhere at the moment. So I'm posting half of it now, post another half of it afterwards, hopefully in a week, but if not then 2 weeks. After that I will post the whole thing together as one. I do have another video in the works, so if it's not the second part, then you'll get that one.